While we've all taken different paths to get here, we are all in this symposium together because we want to see our communities change for the better.
To be better informed about the tools and processes needed to tackle social problems in new ways so that we can build a more equitable and just society for all of us.
The issue of intergenerational equity is the challenge of reciprocity amongst generations. It's all about this give and take between those that are aging, and those numbers are rising and rising and rising, and those that are growing up younger and younger, and that is quite the distribution.
How are you able to meet both of those needs in a fair and equitable way?
Over the next 20 years, the aging population is going to rapidly outnumber our younger population.
What are those mechanisms by which people can build wealth throughout their lifetime when the housing market is a very different place today than it was 50 years ago?
Our first part of the process, we did a community needs assessment. So we tried to figure out what are the key issues, but we did it in a co-design fashion. There's an exacerbating housing crisis, and there's a potential age war.
We considered where do we have the most leverage. In regard to housing, we have housing finance models that we can kind of really explore and expand upon, housing development, and housing policy. Early childhood education for all. We need to have that across the board in all demographics and geographics. Workforce development, and also expanding loan forgiveness programs.
When we think about collective impact, we need to think of the power of the cross-sectoral approach. And it's important to consider who needs to be at the table. The other aspect of collective impact is looking at what would success look like. So what are those metrics? Increasing the ownership rate in key demographics among younger generation and communities of color. Another success metric would be the decrease in student loan debt and the increase in enrollment and completion of college.
You pinpoint a socioeconomic problem mixed in with choices or the lack of choices and opportunities, and how that impacts human behavior.
How do we begin to bring residents and community members to the table, because the decisions that are being made have some real impact on how people's lives will turn out.
Housing really is an anchor in a lot of these communities. It's the anchor, it's the cornerstone where folks get started.
One of the things that I really learned in this program was that although we're out in the community doing services, we really are siloed. We all dig in and we want to make it about us. We want to make it about our cause instead of focusing on the end product or the process. And I don't see this as the end. I really see this as a beginning of professionals really working together to make a change in Southern California.
We know you are all strong-willed people with very focused ambitions and very strong notions about how you wanted to go about changing the world, what you thought was important, and your own habits of mind and habits of work. To have people who have this much energy and experience and intelligence, who are able to see the world and make it about the benefit of others, and the benefit of a society as a whole. Really extraordinary to be with you. Decisions had to be made collectively. The notion of power sharing and decision making, which is such a powerful idea, such an important idea. This group from the very beginning really embraced that idea, that decisions really had to arise out of a sense of collective good, a sense of consensus, that there had to be power sharing in the discussions itself. You were involved in important work before, you've got important work ahead of you. We're happy that you shared some of your time with us here.